What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 11 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Miao Ying Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, we finally declared war on the rebels of Jiangxi, or Jiangxi rebels, who occupy or occupied part of the Celestial Riverlands, possibly the richest province in central Cathay, as we got a 4-settlement province with 2 ports and the Palace of Scrolls, Yuan Bo's building there. Should be good to probably be able to capture the entire thing in this particular episode. Otherwise, we have more or less taken over the Ivory Road from Greece and are looking to begin a war with Kugath shortly, as the poxmakers have nearly wiped out by the looks of it. And the Caravan of Blue Roses definitely want these guys gone ASAP. Not the Blue Roses, but Kugath, so that we can occupy the Dragon Isles and, well, generally this entire area. Act as a bulwark against anything coming out of the Darklands for us. In terms of what we gotta do this turn, I think it's a new turn, more or less, other than building, and you may notice that I did end the turn between the episodes, and use the money to essentially find all of the yin buildings so that we could upgrade them, as it does take a while to find them everywhere. I had one more turn left of sending them all to the Dragon River, and really wanted to make sure that we made good use of it. Anyway, let's begin. Miao Ying, you were going to move towards the Baleful Hills here. Can we raid? We could raid. I wonder how much it's worth. As in a raiding versus healing, because you don't heal much anyway. And 93, well, the raiding isn't worth much either, to be perfectly honest. Just raid, I guess. It'll make the army a little bit cheaper, if nothing else. And then you can be nearby, just march stance and just sit here. Probably could have channeled it, whatever, as we head towards the Baleful Hills next turn. Like so. Oh, we do have the collect income here, which is... Are we still in Conquest? No, Provincial Instability, eh? Well, it is what it is. We could uncollect it, but 800 gold is a fairly decent amount. We are raiding enemy territory, too. Okay, well, whatever. We'll see. Lee Temple soon, which will hopefully fix the entire situation. You guys, including this army, I think what we want to do with you is we want to start moving towards a village. This guy does need to level up, and we do need to still recruit the rest of his construct army. It's going to take a bit, but we're getting there. And I guess without healing, Chanji Chen can do the same thing. The likelihood of these guys having a very nasty full stack there is low, but nonetheless, I think we want to bring both armies along. Administrator, you're moving to Dragon Gate, wherein you will be recruiting the rest of our construct units for the construct army, and for Satang to get online. Been long enough. It's just that it takes a lot of effort to recruit them. Zhu Zhao, you are going northward. We are going to use you to grab this island, but otherwise to take these 2 territories and continue getting XP up there. Seems like the sensible thing to do. I assume you can't land directly? No, you can't. All right, fine. Just go for the island. As long as you're not suffering attrition at sea, I'm happy. Definitely have to watch out for, unnecessary attrition, because, yeah, not so good. This army. I guess there is another island down here which we could grab. Are we able to march stance to... Ow. Just short. Okay, fine. I guess we'll have to take the long way. Assuming we don't want to suffer attrition, which we don't. Alright, go like this. And I suppose what we could do is we could name a few of the things in here. I do believe this army has fought enough to have been... to have earned some names in there. So Eyes of the Empress for some of the crowmen here, together with the Empress crowmen. And then let's do government drones for you. Don't know how many of these crowmen we're going to keep in this army. It's not going to be, I think, our crowman-centric army. It's more of the Sky Lantern-centric army, so there will be another army that has crowmen as well. At least one. Possibly UN bows, but possibly not. We'll see. Anyway, Onyx Crow's Nest. Very nice. Makes sense. Gotta have at least some of the crowmen roosting there. Serene Dragon Lamps for you, and you know what, that actually makes me think Paper Dragon should probably be Paper Dragons, because, well, there's a bunch of them. Alright, and we got what, 2 more? Might as well name them all while we're here. Sky Sentries, easy enough, and we got one more. Let's do Little Lamp Plates. Alright, there we go. Good enough for now, as in naming-wise. Let's see what else we gotta do in terms of this turn. I don't imagine there's all that much. There was an alchemist I wanted to get up and running. Do we want to spend the cash? Oh, right. Ningwen and Jiao Ming, you should probably move. In fact, okay, what's the best way to do this? I mean, we do want to go down to Shambletown. I guess the question is how many enemies are there? We could try to set you up in an ambush right here, or we could just put you into Oh, you need to heal. You may as well go into Grimtop. Nah, go into Grimtop directly. Don't bother ambushing. It's not like we're at war with these guys yet, and ooh, there is an army there, though. I wonder if it can reach us in one turn. Or we can reach them in one turn, huh? They are likely to declare war on us quite soon, and especially with these guys pretty much dead. We'll see. There is also the question of whether we want to put the Nan Gau Grenadiers in Jiao Ming's army. I feel like they belong there better or more than the Jade Warriors do, so let's do the little bit of trading right now. Do this, and then take all of the crossbows. We could also give him the Jade Warriors as well. Kind of makes sense. Although I guess the question is, what would we trade for them? I actually kind of like the multiple flyers and the 2 lines. You know what, keep it for... Well, no, you need more melee. This is going to be a rather melee-centric army. We could do 3 lines instead of Croman, but I do feel like this other army should, at least to some degree, be able to fight by itself, you know what I mean? Also, let's trade out the healthier Croman, because this army will be probably sitting back and healing up a little bit. Also, this is starting to feel like way too many crossbows in this one particular army, but, well, not a huge deal. You know what, we'll figure it out later. Fine, don't take the melee unit, we'll see. We need to keep the drum, we need to keep the cannons. These guys will probably become, at least to some degree, artillery. Frankly, there might be too many grenadiers in this army. Even if we say turn 2 of them into fire rain rockets, as I want artillery in Jiao Ming's army, the rest may not necessarily be there. But anyway, just whatever. Let's see. It's not super critical until we actually start fighting Kugath. Jiao Ming is good now, and I believe that's actually all that we gotta do this turn. This administrator's still not really providing us any kind of real use, is he? Well, at least he's giving us a little bit of a control bonus, well, whatever. At least until that particular territory is maxed out. I believe we did the diplomacy last episode, so we can ignore that, and I think we're just ready to end the turn. Yes, okay, these guys are good, these guys are good. We're still giving chase to Wulfric von Sinkenhof, who is running. You're in position, good enough. At least I hope. While the turn is ending, we did reach the engagement threshold. Oh, really, Kugath? Ha, he's gonna declare war on us right now. Go figure. Alright, well, good for him. Cut our allies to help? No. Don't bother doing that. Anyway, we did reach the engagement threshold, and we will be doing the hour-long episode here. Engagement threshold remains 400 likes, 60 comments. The next episode will be an hour long as well, and an hour, well, at least, adjacent, whatever. And if we maintain the streak until Saturday, we could do a double episode Saturday. Kugath is attacking... Huh. Do we want to help the Blue Roses out? Do we actually... Huh. I mean, we could fight with them, but at the same time, do we actually get any benefit from them sticking around? Because they'll compete with us for territory until we declare war on them. You know, I'm going to say no. Let them die. Well, and Kugath won't immediately attack us, which means we'll get another turn of healing and then attack him right after. I think that makes better sense, although... Does he have 3 armies up here? Well, it should be fun, and nonetheless, I do want to make sure that we don't have other enemies nearby to compete. Hopefully we don't immediately get a plague. Oh, and in fact, that might have avoided us, hopefully avoided us getting the plague from him. Still, and this is a lot earlier Kugath attacking us than I was originally anticipating, but oh well. What do we have here? The Hairy Plague. A horde of chittering spider monkeys descends from the mountains, stealing food from markets, prizing metal from carriages and window frames, and even tearing jewelry from the necks and hands of horrified civilians. Poison the fruit is +4 for for the local province. Oh, why not? It's 500 gold. It's not that bad. Poison the fruit. Nemesis crown sealed away. Well, good for the Empire, I guess. Alrighty, now. We'll deal with Jiao Ming in a second. You cannot reach this island, so just go here and then sit there for a turn, and then I assume you can't reach this island either. Yeah, just a little bit too far away. You wouldn't fight here anyway since it's a mysterious island, but then afterwards you can land probably here and then march there. Who knows if this is actually a functioning port? We've encountered way too many non-functioning ones. Plus, you could probably raid while moving up there, so that'll still work. Miao Ying, you... Ooh, hello, these guys have rebels up and running. This takes nearly all of your movement range. Not much of a defense there, though. We could keep your movement range, and that's probably not going to do anything either. Just go. Like so, and hey, the auto-resolve won't kill off our Jade Warriors. Oh, I'm so thankful for that. Alright, and you can move up right now. Alright, there we go. Auto-resolve, and steal a little bit of XP, or leech a little bit of XP, and occupy. Lovely. Mission successful for the Golden Order. And hey, another Trickster Shard. Very, very nice. Have to figure out who we want to put that on. Jia Ming seems to be casting in dragon form a lot more than Miao Ying is, because, well, whenever she's casting, she's usually using the Lure of Life instead. You know what I should have done? I should have reversed this a little bit, but whatever, too late. Miao Ying, you've got some levels, don't you? 3 levels, in fact. We are trying to get to Recovery or Regrowth and Talon of Night fast as possible. We'll probably want, I guess, 1 point in each of these. We're mostly spamming Earthblood. I think Missile Mirror and Flesh to Stone will be relative rarities, and I'm not sure that we'll have enough points to actually... Okay, do this. This, and then into Recovery. I'm not entirely sure that we'll have enough points to actually max everything out here, because Miao Ying is really insanely point hungry. Her unique line has more points, it feels, than most other lords here. And since we've used it all, we need to actually have room for putting points in the red line and stuff to actually buff her army. Though she is a strong caster, so we also want to make use of that. Anyway, well, let's get at least 2 points in Final Transmutation, Transmutation of Lead, though I guess we use the former more. Frankly, I do use Plague of Rust periodically as well, though it is fairly costly. We'll see. Anyway, who's up next? Alright, Administrator. Will we have enough gold to... Okay, sit in Dragon Gate for now.
There must be order.
Reasonably cheap to recruit the jet lines. We can also start on the first of our Terracotta Sentinels, which we did want. Yeah, let's start on the Terracotta Sentinels. 1, 2, 3. They're going to take 2 turns to recruit anyway, and it'll be a while before we can upgrade this. We could... Oh, this doesn't increase capacity for Terracotta Sentinels, only automatons, though it would give us another Astromancer, which we did want. Oh, right, that reminds me. Alchemist... Oh, we... I forgot to recruit the Alchemist that was going to give us the Glittering Scales, which means losing that. We could get Foolhardy with Frenzy, which would give Frenzy to these guys, to the Celestial Defenders. It's only a thought, but it's not hyper-critical right now. Ooh, this teacher's going to be gone soon. We need more Gatemaster capacity somewhere. Alright, we'll have to try to figure that out, but let's keep moving with everybody else for now, and then we'll figure it out. I assume you guys can't reach the Red Fortress in one go? No, you can't, so just keep moving this way. Together, let's see what's going on here. Oh, and this is a full stack, and they don't have a full stack here, and we should be able to reach them next turn. Lovely. What's up next? Alanhu, you're fine. Yuan Shanfu, you were giving chase, right? And what do you have here? You have a Potion of Speed. Lose the Potion of Speed, we can hopefully turn into something more useful. And... Oh, this guy's being quite annoying, but looks like we can just reach him. Free XP for the Jade Warriors, I guess, auto-resolve. He's in March Sense. Oh, don't tell me the Dead Rise again. He's already done that twice. No, okay, good, he's done. And because we got that Spotter Spyglass, we can hopefully turn it into something a little bit more useful. Out, and... Wrong thing. And... Oh, we have some Scrolls of Shielding as well. Let's fuse those. Celestial Silk Robe, yes, that's another nice one. That's our second one, definitely going to put that to good use. Potion of Speed and Spotter Spyglass into an Asp Bow, also a pretty nice pick. Let's see, anything else here that we want to transform into something more useful? The Jet Amulet is fine, in fact is better than a green version of this item. It's better than the Obsidian Amulet, but not better than the other one. Nah, whatever. We'll take a look at that later, and it looks like that's all for the item fusion now. Alright. A couple of nice ones. Who's up next? Yes, I will fight with Kugath in a second. Just want to make sure that we move everybody else around so I don't forget anybody, because I want to split that between the building and all that. Anyway, you have 2 turns, so you will have to keep stealing here with your super high success rate. Scryer of Fates has 9 turns, so you can keep moving. And then we want you to scout Kugath for us, so go this way, although I guess we kind of know where he is already, so not as important as it once was. Scout, speaking of scouting, you were looking for Avalorn,
Follow the wind.
as we will be trying to ally with all of the
Duty continues.
high elves that can trade well with us, including Alariel, who is... okay, well, we have the trade agreement with her. Double checking. Oh, nobody else is willing. Illyrian and Ivres are in bad shape, unfortunately. Don't think I care about any of these right now. Still trading with the Disciples of the Maw, funnily enough. And the rest of this we can ignore, though I do want to keep paying attention to the Jade Court and their likelihood of actually allying with us. Jiangxi rebels want to peace out because they know they'll die. Sort of same with Puppets of Misrule, but surprisingly not as much as I would have thought. We gotta wipe them out before the Kurgan come back, though, because that's coming up soon. Ish.
The dragon
And we'll have more fun fighting them. Lastly, Disharmony Dealer, I believe you're supposed to steal tech as well. Yeah, might as well. Keep stealing. Lovely. And I think we got one level on Heaven's Interpreter here who wants to get more points in the steel tech. Alright, looks good. Now we fight. What do we have here? We have a March Stancing, Vestergax, Gehenhola. We want to attack one of these armies as the priority. I guess the question is which one? Oh, you have a Soul Grinder of Nurgle. Yeah, but we probably can't reach this army. That's the problem, because we'll want to be able to reinforce. Meaning, you know, we'll reinforce with you. And now I'm thinking maybe... Small issue. These guys are short range. Nonetheless, yeah, we could probably swap the units around a little bit, but I think I'm just gonna... I'm a little bit too lazy to do it right now, so I think we'll just straight up attack. Go here. And attack. Yes, yes. Am I forgetting anything? Oh, I almost attacked with the wrong lord. So I was forgetting something. Go. Alright, Pyrrhic Victory. We got Kugath, we got Vestergax, and we got Feraltra, so we got two and a little bit of stack, but we got a fair amount of units of our own. Let's put the Gleaming Pennant on one of these guys, since if they get charged by any flyers, like the Plague Drones or something, they're probably gonna freak out a little bit. Alright, should be a fun fight, I'd wager. Go.
A dragon leads you to battle this day. Rejoice, for it is the honor of honors.
Alrighty, here we go. Should be a pretty darn fun fight. Two full Kugath stacks with some very solid units, and just between Kugath and that Soul Grinder, we're going to have some issues, and then there's Uncle for Uncle and the Bilious Thunderguff on top of it, so definitely some heavy hitters here. We're going to hit those heavy hitters as best we can ourselves as the Grand Cannons. We'll try to focus down Mr. Bilious Thunderguff. That said, in SFO, these guys have massive resistances, and it's gonna take a long time to bring Big Boy down, especially if every single shot from the cannons misses in the way that it does here. In the meantime, of course, we are going to move in with Jiao Ming. He and the other aerial units are going to try to menace the enemy Lord, and possibly the enemy Soul Grinder, whatever really we can get at, and we shall see. It looks like the Great Longbow Riders are going to lead the charge, and they are technically melee units, so they are buffed by Jiao Ming, so we could leave a couple of them in here. I do believe it's Celestial Dragon Guard riding them after all, or at least they look very similar armor-wise, so they would fit in with the army. But anyway, the enemy lord is now surrounded, starting to take a little bit of damage, but at the same time healing up due to fecundity, which is pretty massive. Surprisingly, the enemy lord manages to bring down, what, 4 Long Marauders, despite being on the chariot, which you would think would be not so conducive to killing them off. It looks like the enemy is wise to this plan, as well as it sends those Plague Ogres in, and we're going to have to back those Celestial Lions off, or lest rather, and they take too much damage. Gonna speed it up while we back off and reposition ourselves, while continuing to lay down fire upon the Thunderguff, at least with the Grand Cannons, but the Fire Rain Rockets are doing a little bit of work down here against the Nurglings. Probably, in fact no probably about it, much better to hit the enemy Plague Bearers, but well, We'll hit them in a bit. For example, these guys, first unit of Plague Bearers, Plague Ogres, in fact, charges in. Everybody looks like ants from up there, but down here it looks like we'll meet their charge with our Dragon-Blooded Shogun Lord, and that allows our grenades to check at least a few extra volleys into the enemy before our Jade Warriors move in to join the fray. Not that there really is a need, as this Plague Ogre unit is down to a quarter of its HP, can't even see them for all the grenades hitting them. And that works out well. Lovely. Didn't even get the time to send the Celestial Lion in, which arrives just as the Ogres all fall. That's all fine, though, as we wanted to make sure, well, we want to make sure to level those Grenadiers as much as possible, since they're going to want to be evolved into artillery in this particular army. Anyway, looks like the enemy Plague-Ridden is giving chase to the Alchemist, and doing so quite well at that, as the Alchemist has lost about 60% of her HP. Jiao Ming still hovering around with 2 Celestial Lions and the Great Long Marauders, and since the Chaos Lord was a bust, we're going to try to go for the enemy Soul Grinder instead, as it would be better that it not fire on the blob of units. Our Fire Rain Rockets have retargeted now towards the enemy Plague Bearers, although, whether intentional or not, the enemy is smartly moving said Plague Bearers into the tree line, which will likely protect them from a lot of the fire. That said, it might protect them from rockets, but it won't protect them from Gehenna's Golden Hounds, as we pop that into the enemy blob, with the hopes of dealing a little bit more damage. Bilious Thunderguff has only lost about 30% of its HP so far, unfortunately, at the cost of almost all the ammunition of our Grand Cannons. A little bit disappointing, I gotta say, and they also reduce its ammunition, but they're just not doing nearly enough to bring the big boy down. Probably better off using Crane Gunners or possibly even crossbows to bring it down. We've seen the Iron Hail Gunners make very quick work of rotting Leviathans, so they'd probably be solid against the Giants as well. Anyway, we're distracting Kugath as best we can with Jiao Ming. He probably won't win the fight like this, simply because he needs more points into his fighty tree to be able to fight Kugath. And even if he can damage Kugath, he won't be able to out-damage his healing and regeneration, so I'm just going to have to keep annoying him, while in the meantime the Longma and the Celestial Lion continue distracting the Soul Grinder. The rest of the enemy army continues to approach. We've surprisingly got more ammunition remaining on the Fire Rain Rocket than we do the Grand Cannons. And they're just going to have to keep firing. Looks like we'll be able to get the Thunderguff down to maybe half of its HP, using up all the ammunition on the cannon. But oh well, what can you do? We still got plenty of other range units here, so as soon as the enemy gets in range, all of these crossbows, speaking of, will begin to fire. And I do still love the sound of the Grand Cannons firing. Gotta remember that we do have a Lord that gives them a plus 25% to reload, and we're certainly going to build a army that's heavy on the Grand Cannons later on, just for fun. Like I said, I've got like a dozen armies that I want to try out, so as soon as we've essentially established our borders properly and don't have to constantly worry about enemies attacking us, we'll take the time to move forward in turns a little bit, tech up, get our armies up and running, etc. Anyway, over on the leftmost flank, protecting our entire army, will be the Celestial Dragon Guard, our only unit of them, staying here because the vast majority of the enemy, well maybe not the vast majority, but a big majority of the enemy will most likely hit this particular location. Otherwise, we've got the Jade Warriors standing here, and still looking okay. We've also switched targets of the Grand Cannons towards the enemy Plague Ogres, who are suffering much more than that Thunderguff did. We can see that this unit has been pretty much destroyed from a distance, and it looks like the cannons are accurate and damaging enough to actually knock these guys out. Much better than actually trying to snipe the Thunderguff. Once again, I guess that'll be something that we leave for the Crane Gunners in the future. Anyway, just going to continue firing, and yeah, that unit of Plague Ogres is pretty much gone. And ooh, it looks like our Dragon-Blooded Shogun is pretty badly damaged, having once again taken the charge from the enemy Forsaken, and is now going to have to back off. Still got plenty of work to do, however, as Plague Toads have arrived, and they're a lot stronger in SFO. The Miasma Pestilence also probably not helping us all that much, reducing the melee attack down to a mere 33 on the Celestial Dragon Guard. And ooh, the charge of those Plague Ogres going through 1 unit of Celestial Dragon Guard and then 2 units of crossbows, nearly reaching our back line and hitting our crossbows back there. Gonna need something with a little bit more mass to defend against factions like this, so we're going to send in the Celestial Lion, hurt though it is, and I do believe our Jade Longma are coming back around to help out with it. We have managed to destroy the enemy's Soul Grinder with these guys, but it took the HP of both of these lions pretty darn low. Jiao Ming is a little bit hurt, but he also has regeneration, and the Longma have lost about half of their HP as well. The Plague Bearers are still a fair distance away, but yeah, that's a lot of monsters and monstrous infantry. Lots of Plague Toads, Plague Ogres, Beasts of Nurgle, etc., etc., and they're certainly being able to get through our lines. Obviously, Jiao Ming's army will eventually not have the piles of range units that we do have here. And we'll have a lot more melee for the enemy to actually attempt to charge through, though we'll have to definitely get a couple of units to anchor the line in case of big units with ogre charge and stuff like that. Anyway, Jade Longma have arrived once more and are going to smash into those Plague Ogres and Plague Toads and try to hold the line and protect our range units. Over on the right flank, a pile of Plague Bearers that walked out of those trees, as the trees did protect them from our artillery fire, is now engaged with the Jade Warriors. I'm gonna take the regular non-exalted variants. Pretty long time to break through the Jade Warriors. The regular ones do hit twice as hard in theory in terms of their total weapon strength, but their armor piercing at 17 means, well, it's not that it's bad armor piercing, it's pretty solid, but it does still take quite a while. Anyway, the Bilious Thunderguff has arrived and is now down to 40% of its HP, taking hits from those crossbows, but having eaten up all the ammunition from our cannons, it did pretty darn well. And damn, this has turned out to be a pretty darn great fight. Gotta be thankful to Kugat for it. Our lines are nearly breached, but the lions, as in the Celestial Lions, are helping to hold. Jiao Ming has arrived, and the Celestial Dragon Guard, after, I mean, they've been in the center of this blob of monsters this entire fight. I mean, they're completely surrounded by them, and they've only lost about 30% of their HP, and gotta be pretty impressed with that. They're a very tanky unit, and I can't wait for Jiao Ming to have a bunch of them. Alright, he's going to try to go after the enemy Lord, the enemy Plague Ogres, the Beasts, anything that he can reach, really, just helping anchor the line and preventing the enemy from charging further through. Well, at this point, we're even using our units of Celestial, or just regular Jade Warrior crossbows, to hold enemy units back and allow our grenades, which have moved behind them, to actually fire their grenades. On the Bilious Thunderguff down to, 5% of its HP, gonna get one last vomit down on the enemies below before taking a volley of grenades and toppling to the ground. Lovely. Here comes some Death's Head's Plague Ogres, or Plague Ogres, Plague Drones, which I believe, ran out of ammunition, have decided to land among the Jade Warrior crossbows and our artillery behind them. Now, you may think that I should have moved the artillery out, but in reality I did. They ran out of ammunition and the crews are all back here. It's just that the actual artillery pieces are still there, which is fine. Celestial Lions and some Crowmen have found the enemy Lord, which has still got about 60% of his HP, but hopefully the Lion can dish out some decent damage. The Longma are still in the middle of the fray, working together with those Celestial Dragon Guard and Jiao Ming himself to hold back the enemy tide. Those roars from the Celestial Lions are also much needed, as they cause a -10 morale shock. And I gotta remember that I wanted to do a morale shock army some way. I gotta try to think about what way to do it. Definitely the Celestial Lions, but what else could we do to do morale shock? Obviously something to charge into the back of the enemy. Maybe those heroes with flow of battle available to them. Standard of Nan Gau, which is a +4, -4 leadership. I'll take another look. See if there are any other units that we have that have contact effects which reduce enemy leadership. Just because morale shock armies are kind of fun. But anyway, looks like our Onyx Crowmen have landed and are kind of sacrificing themselves to keep those darn buzzing plague drones back. And we got more Crowmen where that came from, as several of our units have now broken and have fled off the battlefield, which means some reinforcements are ready to move on in. Jiao Ming's still very much in the fight, though he has reached his healing cap and is hovering around 50% of his HP. Kugath is still firing away at us and is still trying to kill off that one lion, which is still backing off, but it looks like Kugath's main line, or main army, is pretty much done for. The grenades keep falling upon the plague bearers. And every time, when Jiao Ming has his magical damage to the entire army, or at least in the area activation, it's really helpful against the demons, and especially for those grenades, because suddenly blob of magical grenades damaging the demons is quite effective. Well, not that this isn't effective either, mind you, as the grenades are gonna have done very, very well in this particular campaign. Granted, I've been using them more than I normally might, but because they're a new unit, I just like to screw around with the new units a little bit more. Alright, how are we doing here? Looks like the Exalted Plague Bearers are the last units that are still standing on the front lines. Jade Warriors working together with Onyx Crowmen. Perhaps a little bit of a preview of Yuan Bo's army in the future, as the last of the Exalted Plague Bearers fall, and the only thing that will remain on the map is the Festering Stooges Exalted Plague Bearers, I guess personal guard of Kugath here, and Kugath himself. He'll still probably get a few volleys off on us, as he does still have ammunition, and will in fact target Jiao Ming. Smart or not smart, I'm not entirely sure. Jiao Ming is still got his half of his HP, but at the same time he did reach his healing cap, so that means we're going to transform him into mortal form, because the dragon children have 2 different healing caps depending on the form they take. Plus Jiao Ming has some pretty darn flashy animations. Regardless of whether he's in dragon form or mortal form, he looks like he's having a lot of fun. Though it is kind of hard to catch him doing his animations, because it's he flies up and does all that stuff. Let's see if he does the thing where he flies all the way up, and there we go. That's very nice. Here come the Onyx Crowmen, and he'll fly up. Beautiful. I do like Jiao Ming's melee animations more than Miao Ying's. There we go. I mean, that one's pretty hard to beat. Not as good as Valkyria's, but still pretty darn good. Anyway, the Festering Stooges are just about done for, as our flying units have charged on in to help Jiao Ming out. Not that he really needed the help here, as the unit was already melting away. We did send another unit of Crowmen to try to distract Kugath, as he had started firing on the Longma, and unfortunately were forced to sacrifice the Crowmen as they got stuck on the infested Nurglings that Kugath summoned. Oh well, what can you do? Now to try to head towards Kugath himself, or at the very least distract his Nurglings, though we do have range units moving in, and it's probably going to be way faster to bring him down with the range units instead. The Nurglings will disappear, and it's time to target Kugath himself. Jiao Ming will activate his ability to do the to get the Master of Alchemy up and running. Not so much for the damage, even though it helps, but for the magical attacks on all those Jade crossbows, meaning that Kugath will start getting shredded, and not in a good way. 20% physical resistance is nullified. And a couple more volleys will bring Big Boy down without the need to move Jiao Ming in, though he was floating forward, getting ready to punch his way through that blob anyway. Lovely. Pyrrhic victory, and certainly a fight worth fighting, and a heck of a long one as well. I love it. Ooh, that one definitely took some effort, though, let's see, it looks like the Festering Stooges came back, one of the Beasts of Nurgle, and of course the Soul Grinder came back. Plague Drones with Death's Heads came back, basically all of their best stuff with the exception of Uncle for Uncle came back, as the AI does always seem to have the best luck when it comes to Demons Reforged and the Dead Rise. Otherwise, we lost a single unit of Onyx Crowman, and everybody else is okay, if heavily damaged. And we will want to chase the enemy down, but 2.5k is hard to turn down as well. So they need more artillery, and our artillery did pretty well. 60k damage on our single fire rain rocket. Longman did well at 18k and held the line, but speaking of holding the line with 53k, 191 kills, the Celestial Dragon Guard were absolutely instrumental in holding the line against the more mass of the Nurglite units. Really fun fight. Well, pardon the captives, these guys will back off. I do wonder whether... Well, no, we should be able to chase them down, but I do wonder whether we'll get a plague for our trouble. We should get the Kuget defeat trade, but as I understand, it's that plague one, so it's awful, right? Horde growth, growth local province, and chance of plague spreading reduction. Ooh. Yeah, that's not a good trade, but oh well. I guess if we can, it would be better to have Ningwei get the trade as well, even if it ain't a great one, just to reduce plague chances, though... Huh, well, I guess Jiao Ming will reinforce. I'm hoping that our units won't all die. To the auto-resolve. Go, give it a try. Let's see what the auto-resolve says. Looking okay, surprisingly. I wonder if something like the drum will go down to like 1 HP. Distinct possibility. Let's see, we're looking. Yeah, the drum and the Celestial Lines all went down to 1. All of the Celestial Lines and Ningwei as well. So if we get a plague that causes us attrition, they'll all die next turn, which would be unfortunate. Well, what can you do once again? Take the tiny amount of replenishment, I guess. Let's see what we're looking at here. Earthing Rod, there's that Silk Weaver and defeated Kugath, and I see no plague. I also see that you can return to Grimtop, which I guess we should do. With you, at least. Frankly, Jiao Ming should as well. Oh, he can reach Shambletown, which we could take immediately, though I do wonder if there's another stack right behind it. Should probably risk it. Probably gonna have to fight this. Yeah, there's not much there. Alright, we'll fight this in a second. Let's move you down first. Let's see if there's another stack here. Oh, we can't see? I think we can't see. Damn, I was hoping to find out whether there's a full stack there. Alright, either way, we need to apply points on Jiao Ming. Now, we could get the Lord of Shangyang as well, just to get, I guess, the additional Cathay and Ogre Kingdoms diplomatic relations. The benefit of that will at least be the fact that it will give us friendlier relations with Yuan, though I suppose maybe for this one particular fight we'll do Strength of Yang and Metal Shifting first so that he has his passives, and then we'll get Lord of Shangyang after. Iron Scale doesn't matter as much since it's only percentage based, and it's not going to do too much of an increase, admittedly. Alright, you're gonna fight in a sec, at least I hope I don't forget, because everybody else has moved, but I want to spread it out with building, which we still have to do. Alright, Kunlun. Starting here, we do want to build the Alchemist's Tower, and in fact, I think we'll want to invest in it now, because I did want to get another Gate Master before the teacher disappeared. There's nothing else important that we need to build here, and we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, meaning if we wanted to, wait, 9. Yeah, if we wanted to, we could increase the public order by switching one of these. Probably the thing to do. It's +3 public order. It's not like we're recruiting peasants right now. And wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Meaning we'll go down to 7 if we cancel 1. We could do another public order one if we get one of these, but then yeah, I don't want the building losses to do anything. So we'll do the Alchemist's Tower here, and then we'll switch, let's say, you. Like so. Imperial Road. We are saving to build the we're saving to build this, the Temple of Two Moons, though the only thing that it does for us is upkeep production on Celestial Dragon Garden crossbows, which we're not using right now, so probably better off upgrading these towns first. And we do gotta prioritize town upgrades. Ooh, wait, actually, speaking of prioritizing, Lee Temple, okay, one more turn, just gotta keep an eye on you. Let's upgrade the port, I guess, or the town. Well, Pound probably has to take priority. And we could do the brine mining basin. It's always good to get the... Wait, actually, if we don't do that, we might be able to upgrade another town somewhere. Like here. Wait, actually, no, that's a... Is this a red town? No. Doomcrag has iron, but okay, this is a red town, so we can ignore that. Baleful Hills, we can delete you. We could upgrade you to level 2, but it's also not going to be as critical as the tier 3. Ooh, Shiama's Rest. Okay, that's what we'll do. We'll do Shiama's Rest because it'll give us the ability to get the standing stones. It's not much, but the bonuses, bonus versus for research a little bit is decent. And wait, do we need this here? I'll keep it. And the little bit of extra melee attack against chaos. I mean, I won't say no to it. Anyway, otherwise I believe we are good to not end the turn, but to fight this little tiny manual battle. Let's upgrade you while we're at it. Get the enhanced metallurgy, and then... I guess go through evasion. Well, you know what, let's get 1 more points in Gehenna's Golden Hands. We are using that a lot. Alright, I'm gonna manually fight this because it'll... Oh, it actually won't kill the drum. Huh. It'll probably damage these guys more, but... As long as we don't get the plague, we're okay. Alright. It's not like we could have healed them anyway, so yeah, without Miao Ying here, and oh my lord, it's going to take 9 turns for them to recover. So basically, they'll never recover. Alright. Audacious, good. Then let's get you that Razor Standard. I do like that attrition reduction, but the Gleaming Pennant not as useful. Razor Standard for you. We were looking to get you the Doom Dragons, but I guess we can get you that after. And we really need some research or something that'll help us replenish, because it's... Yeah, this is in a green territory, too. And it's just... And with a little bit of bonus from that to conscription office. Oh, and I see the plagues all over here. So we'll get them eventually. But these, I believe, are the non-attrition variants of the plague, so not the scary ones. Really decent money generation out of the Haunted Forest. Alright, hopefully the undead don't take any of these territories. We just need to grab the Knobbly Gorge quick, and then we'll see what those guys do. Otherwise, I guess that's the end turn. Yes? Yes. Let's see if if Hanakugat's armies comes out. He wants us into... He wants us to get into a military alliance. We should take a look at the outpost thing, though, because he might have another mission for us. And we're probably approaching 100 allegiance with him. Of course, he lost all of his main territories and all of his camps, so I don't think he can get us anything, but we should be able to reacquire Leadbelchers relatively quick, as it's not a super high tier unit. And high tier or not, it'll still work very, very nicely with a couple of our armies. What do we have here? I guess we're gonna have to sacrifice cargo. I mean, yes, we could fight, but we have 7 or 8 turns left on this caravan's journey, and it's just not worth taking heavy damage for it right now. Also, these guys will still continue gaining XP, so soon we'll be able to upgrade these guys to all Jade Warriors, and at that point we'll be better off to upgrade, pay up, whatever. And hello, Burning Vambraces, win 8 battles. Oh, damn, I was hoping for another quest battle. And we'll get this soon up and running. Let's give this a read. The embers of inspiration burn fiercely as the toil and smoke of the smithy beckons, urging the most talented of craftsmen to lend it the sweat of their brow. One day soon, an item of peerless quality will emerge, forged through flame and magic. Yet such grand creations require refinement. Allow the lure of Yang to ebb and flow amidst the clamor of battle, harnessing the spirit of every triumph. Only then will the furnace burn hot with arcane energy, imbuing the newly crafted artifact with the essence of each and every victory. Alright, well, 8 victories should be reasonably quick. Let's start from the top in terms of moving. So Miao Ying, that's you. I guess we'll hit Shang-Wu. We should still knock these guys out, but I think we won't be able to move if we do. Well, we'll still have 12. Nah, I'm not risking it. Go for Shang-Wu. We'll go after these guys afterwards if needed.
The Emperor's chosen daughter.
Like so. Really valiant defeat? What the heck? Okay, fine. I guess we'll do this as a cinematic siege. It's a rarity after all. We'll do that in a second. Let's move everybody else before we do. Okay, you're fine. You too. Are you able to reach Village's hideout in this turn? Yes, indeed you are. So go to the Red Fortress, which I believe... Yeah, which won't work as a cinematic, so we'll try to see if the enemy's willing to fight us outside. Like so. And then move in. This time I think an oh, We can't reach it in camp? Or maybe we can, I don't know. Just go to the edge of this.
The high ground.
Keep raiding, I guess it'll still make your army cheaper, unless you can encamp, which you cannot. Alright, so just sit there. They probably won't sally out like this, though. Maybe we should have just let these guys fight. But the thing is, this guy has no bonus XP right now, and might have a little bit of trouble. I'm getting overrun. Alright, let's leave them there for a turn. If they don't sally out, we'll back Tanji Chen off, maybe towards the Foundry of Bones, while this guy besieges, and maybe that'll allow him to fight. If it wasn't a broken siege, as in if it wasn't a broken cinematic, then I would just do it. But right now, if it's broken, then we gotta try to make it into a field battle, because I want to see those terracotta automatons in action. You grab this mysterious island, which is not a battle. Oh, there's another island out there. Let's get Fortified Grog. Mathon's Blessing, not bad. And, oh, it looks like you can land here. Meaning, we'll grab this mysterious island and then we'll land rather than traveling by land. Go figure. And just gotta pay attention to see if there are more islands out here. Which there are not, sadly. But it's okay. Alrighty, who's up next? We've got the administrator, which is the other administrator. I'm just gonna... I'm gonna get annoyed at some point and just name him the other administrator, because I always think of him that way. And then you can grab the silent approach and... Pyrrhic Victor... Oh, right. Huh. Actually, this might in some ways be worth fighting, because the enemy army has... Well... I mean, it's a smaller battle. I'll just fight it real quick. I was just thinking that they have enough range units to actually threaten the Sky Lanterns, so we might not be able to fight it in the same way that we want. Plus, I guess we do still want to get lots of XP on the Jade Lancers by virtue of trying to evolve them into Longma Riders, so go.
Fear not! Death's embrace! For it is the embrace of your loving ancestors!
Alrighty, here we go. Should be a fun little fight, and I'm liking the fact that it's a nice, bright map for us to see what the heck is going on. I'm also quite interested to see how quickly we can bring down one of these rotting Leviathans here. 25% physical resistance and 10% missile versus the sniping, I want to say crane gunners, but Sky Lanterns. I mean, I guess they have crane gunners up on top of them, just not very many of them. Or similar types of guns, but anyway, let's see how we're doing here. First of the Leviathans is down to about half of their HP, and we are going to slow the enemy down by getting Gehenna's Golden Hounds in the blob of enemies. Of course, we won't just be using the lanterns in this particular fight, as the enemy does have all those range units, and we really can't have those volleying at the lanterns, which are quite fragile, missile resisting or not. Though 40% ain't too bad, and if we could get another missile resistance aura, that would help out. Anyway, our lords and our cavalry will charge on through into the enemy zombies and then through them to reach the gunner zombies behind them. First of the enemy rotting Leviathans will fall, having been sniped by the Sky Lanterns, and just as it falls, the crows will arrive. The Empress Crowmen will first drop their grenades or whatever upon the enemy, and then 3 units of crowmen will touch down upon the zombies and start tearing them to shreds. The same picture is repeating itself all over the battlefield, as all 8 units of crowmen have touched down, and the enemy melee and range alike are starting to suffer. The Sky Lanterns are all now focusing down the enemy unit or the enemy rotting Leviathan, while the 2 lions now just distracted and keep it in place with the hopes that it doesn't kill off too many crowmen while they work on the enemy zombies. And they're doing fairly well at tearing them apart. Gonna get some losses on the crowmen, but they are killing rather fast. I gotta say, I'm a lot happier with the crowmen in terms of their usefulness in this than I was the last time I played with them in vanilla. I mean, they still have the issue of being super fragile and getting stuck like nobody's business, and then, you know, getting obliterated by virtue of being stuck. But considering they do quite a bit of damage, and some magical damage at that, they can move in, tear a few range units or artillery units apart, and back out, generally speaking, fairly well. Anyway, with that, the little battle ends. Well done to pretty much every unit, since, once again, unlike the first battles of this army, where we just used the lanterns, we were able to use pretty much everything. I love to see it. Still can't wait to see how strong we can make the lanterns. Alright, there we go. Nice little fight. The crowmen tore these zombies apart, and the Sky Lanterns did fairly decently at sniping that first Rotting Leviathan before it could do anything. Just like artillery, with the Serene Dragon Lamps getting the most damage, while damage's gold value went to the little lamplights. As for the crows, looks like the Eyes of the Empress got the most kills and damage. Lovely. We got 1600 gold, and I'm still inclined to take the gold. And let's see if we get anything useful out of that island. Come on, materials, let's see. No dice. Sky Lantern, though, for our Lord, and a free Trickster Shard, and you can go back into this and heal up here for a turn. Lovely. Alright, so we got that Sky Lantern now, so our Lord will be helping. Let's get him the... I'm gonna say... Ooh. This also gives him speed. Oh, good. Even more speed. I like it. The Art of War doesn't really help us here, as in the Vanguard deployment, and we need 4 points, so we won't be able to get all of this immediately. Let's get Whistling Bullets and reload time. See how much damage he can do. Oh, wait. Whistling rounds means that the poison won't be helpful, will it? Minus 10 melee attack and minus 10 melee defense versus the poison reduction. I'm not actually sure that that's actually the better thing, but nonetheless, he's going to be quite fragile, so let's give him Armored Gondola first. And I guess we can give him the Great Moonbow instead, then. Silver Moonbow. Alright. As I don't think we have any weapons that would help him on enough in terms of his missile strength to be worth our time. Plus he can, I don't know, get some arrows coming down. We'll see. Anyway, the rest of you will level up later. How close are you to the Moonbird? You're rank 10, so not there yet, but slowly but surely getting there. Let's get your scouting maxed out. The main thing we need in terms of your spells is Curse of the Midnight Wind, and probably the occasional Chain Lightning as well, though with an Alchemist here, we're still pretty okay in terms of damage dealing with mages. Who's up next? Lanku is fine. Administrator, the other administrator is fine. You just move. Ningwei and... Jiaoming. Oh, you can't reach the place in one turn. Fair enough. You're going to then go to the edge of the territory and encamp and sit there. And we'll head to Noble Gorge after. You can reinforce, I guess. So go to Shamble Town. Heal as much as you can. Oh man, the replenishment is atrocious. And then, yeah, we really need scouts here because we don't know what's going to happen at Flayed Rock as, well, it's likely not going to be great. You go down here and you won't be able to reach it by the time you get there, meaning you won't be able to steal tech. I was tempted to move you through the mountains instead. We do have 8 turns. Could start stealing tech from the various greenskins. From Legion of Asgore as well. Hey, would you look at that? Greasy's moving out there. And actually, speaking of Greasy, we're going to trade you Amble Peak, so let's build another training camp here. I forgot about it. Admittedly, it wasn't a priority to build it up to upgrade it, so yeah. Oh, we could also upgrade these to tier 2. Or these to tier 3. I'm gonna say start with both of these to tier 2 first, and then we'll see about the other stuff after. Anyway, well, you know what, while we're here, let's build up the buildings. Keep the markets at level 1, but we'll build up the gold mine. Income from all buildings, all regions, and province will mean that it probably will be a decently generating territory. Let's also go for the animal store / tusk compound, which does give us research in the same way that it gives elves research. Interesting. Certainly going to try to pay attention to that one. Miao Ying, we are going to fight with you shortly, as soon as we're done with all the other stuff. And Shao is good, and alright, let's move the tech thieves. So you go to Hidden Landing. These guys are also probably going to declare war on us, but, well, hopefully the Golden Order can wipe them out without the need for our intervention. You will have wanted to steal tech, and frankly, I probably should have. Okay, you know what? Oh, you probably don't have enough movement range to do it anymore. It's not great. That means I guess you have to move. Unless we sack it, which we're not going to do, so yeah, just move. Alright, and then Scout. I believe you found all the elves you wanted to find here, but I mean, just double check. Alright, I think that's good enough. Let's go to Bretonia and see what's going on out there. Potential other trading partners. And actually, while we're at it, let's double check diplomacy. Still no new trade agreements, New World colonies I don't think we care for trading with. The Wood Elves might be a decent option, as long as Durthu isn't being a maniac this particular campaign, and not trying to attack the Empire, which it seems like he's not doing. How much money does he want for this? 3,000? That's not gonna happen. At least not right now. The rest of this we can ignore. Minus 47. Come on, Jade Court. You just gotta lose one army. Alright, and it looks like it's time for Miao Ying to fight. Then we'll do building after that, because we are inevitably gonna get some money for this. You've reached level 10. We could get you bound. Earthblood, which we still probably should. If only it was the Overcast Phos protection. Well, 30 seconds of melee defense and damage resistance is solid. I'm gonna still say the Earthblood is more valuable. Even if it ain't a crazy amount of healing, it's better than nothing. Anyway, we got some Blood Knights in here, a Black Coach, Hex Wraiths, some solid defenders, you gotta admit. Let's see how they fare against the range. Go.
You know your orders. You know your positions. You know what you have to do!
They have hidden real Warband. They were concealed by the night wind.
Huh. All those units kept talking even after Miao Ying was talking. But anyway, here we go. We got a little bit of a vampire location defending, which does some nice units in there. Hex Wraiths, Blood Knights, Karen Wraiths, Black Coach, etc, etc, etc. So we should be able to enjoy ourselves, especially since, while there's a decent likelihood that we'll run out of ammunition, I'll have to fight in melee a little bit. Anyway, we're going to start the battle off as we usually do by hosing down the enemy walls with grenades and with rockets and with quarrels, though I do wish the quarrels would arc a little better instead of trying to direct fire. I always feel like you should be able to tell your units to try to arc fire more rather than, you know, stupidly firing directly into the Merlins, but all good. Hopefully it won't matter over much. Anyway, the enemy units will be off those walls rather quick as they don't want to be sitting up there, and we'll move forward a little bit shortly. But this isn't the most interesting aspect of this fight, so we'll just speed it up a little bit. Looks like a unit of Karen Wraiths has been pretty much destroyed, and a unit of Graveguard with sword and board have taken their place. Unfortunately, it's not the Nan Gau Grenadiers that are hitting them, it's the Dragon Breakers, but hey, they're slowing them down at least, and the explosions might actually be still killing them by knocking a few of them off the walls. And plus, when they decide to run, they're still slowed down, so not a bad thing. Love those arrows from the Grace of Trian falling down upon the enemy. They'd fit nicely with Sisters of Avalorn, but, you know, we don't really need Sisters of Avalorn in this army. As Miao Ying can just use Celestial Dragon Guard with crossbows. Especially considering those will fight better in melee, I expect, than Sisters of Avalorn would, especially with the buffs that we've got. Anyway, a few more arrows into those Graveguard backing off with the sword and boards turned the wrong way, and, well, no sword and board on the units of Graveguard with halberds, who are similarly going to flee. Bounce power remains at about 50-50 because we are very much running out of ammunition now, especially on the crossbows, and we'll soon need to move in all of our non-crossbow troops to start fighting. Though we do still have ammunition, obviously, on the Iron Hail Gunners, on the Crane Gunners, and on the Grenadiers. And I kind of do like the sort of weakening the enemy with the crossbows first at long range and then moving the other units in. We've breached the wall with our Sky Junk now, which is fairly decently badly damaged, and we breached both gates as well by having our grenade units fire at them until they exploded. It's going to speed this up a little bit once again, or maybe not. It looks like a unit of Crypt Horrors has decided to sally out through the breach we've made in the walls and has started hitting our Iron Hail Gunners, which set up right outside the breach. Well, good for the Horrors, but unfortunately for them, we do move our Alchemist, which pops her Tormentor Sword and traps said Horrors in place, allowing for the range units to fire upon them. A limited number of crossbow arrows come down, but the Iron Hail Gunners and grenades have arrived as well, and those poor units of Crypt Horrors will get shot up and torn apart. Like so. Alrighty, and melting away now. Tormentor Sword is still up, unfortunately for them, but they're not up either. They're not up themselves anymore. Ooh, another unit of Graveguard with halberds, isn't it? Get a few of those Dragon Breaker explosions. It does barely any damage whatsoever, but once again, it's for the debuffs. It's not for the... Or those units are rather for the debuffs, not for the damage. And I do believe our crossbows have, what, maybe a couple more volleys in them, so it's time to get the rest of our units into the enemy settlement. Alright, everybody's slowly moving up. The Jade Warriors will lead. We do want to try to get them some XP in this battle after all. Yes, they're leaving Miao Ying's army. I know I say this every episode, but they definitely are. But as long as they can continue leveling up, that'll still serve our purpose, as we want them to earn their position as Celestial Dragon Guard. And that way I definitely start feeling more attached to units when they've worked their way up all the way from Peasant to Celestial Dragon Guard. And there's the fact that if we keep this mechanic around, essentially we don't just build super elite units. That means a loss of a super elite unit is one that can't easily be replaced. Which would generally mean trying to sacrifice non-super elite units to save super elite units if those units are in trouble. Certainly something to think about. But anyway, looks like some of our units are moving in. Nan Gau Grenadiers, Jade Warriors to protect them, and soon Iron Hail Gunners as well. And we'll get those Crane Gunners moving up on top of the walls to fire down on the enemy below, with the rockets of the Sky Junk still helping, though I'd wager for not too much longer. There we go, Crane Guns on top of the walls now, and some of the Crane Guns below the walls as well. Some bats have moved in and are going to menace some of those Crane Guns, but we're going to send in a few units to try to help them right quick. Although they're not taking horrible damage. But Miao Ying's still going to bail them out, as needed. And it looks like the Crane Guns on the walls are having a little bit of a difficult time firing on the enemy now, but it is what it is. Looks like we're clear on the right flank, and it's the left flank where the enemy is making their assault. Jade Warriors trying to hold back as many of the enemy as possible, and it looks like once again engaging sword and board versus sword and board here against the Graveguard. The bats are done, and Miao Ying can join the fight here as well. Alright, very nice. Oh, funnily enough, the Graveguard, this color scheme that the AI has here, kind of works with Miao Ying's sort of purplish lightning that she does, and sort of the accents that she's got on her outfit as well, and on the dragon. Enemy has a more color-coordinated color scheme with us than we do, but what can you do? Anyway, some enemies charge in, and it looks like it's Hex Wraiths and Blood Knights together getting absolutely slaughtered. What happened here was they took the Tormentor Sword, got stuck in place, and then the Iron Hail Gunners, Crane Gunners, and Grenades all hit them at the same time, which was pretty ugly, and they weren't able to make good on their charge into those Jade Warriors, meaning that, well, they were pretty much destroyed without issue. Lovely. It worked out very well for us. Another unit of Graveguard are heading on in, but that does mean the Iron Hail Gunners can continue firing away at them. We position them in such a way that they've got a nice clear line of sight, which is why they were able to fire into the flanks of all those cav units. And the Jade Warriors will block them if they get any closer. Although I'm sure we'll take a couple of shots of friendly fire from our Iron Hail Gunners, it shouldn't matter over much. Though the Iron Hail Gunners are going to be a much bigger threat to our own units than the Grenades, I guess, in theory. I mean, a few grenades hitting us will do very little damage due to our armor, but the armor-piercing Iron Hail Gunners could be a lot more dangerous, depending on how many hits. And there we go. It looks like those melee units are done for. There's still a few milling around in the enemy army, and we can see that the balance of power is only about 70% in our favor due to the crossbows being all out of ammunition. Dragon Breaker's out. Frankly, one of the grenades, both of the grenades nearly out as well. And well, a second unit of Blood Knights. I wasn't expecting that. I thought there was only one. So they move on in. We'll trap them again with the Grenadiers, and then hit them with a Plague of Rust, reducing their armor by 75 to a mere 35. That absolutely wrecks those poor Blood Knights who shed 80% of their HP just as they arrive, and unfortunately without an invocation of the Heck, even though they do still have the hunger to keep them up in the fight a little bit, it's just not going to be enough. No models coming back this way after all. Plus, Miao Ying is back in action in her mortal form as well, getting a few heals down. And it looks like some skeletons are moving in a little bit too late as the Blood Knights have fallen. Maybe these guys should have absorbed some more of our hits when the Grave Guard or the Cav are all charging. And now all they can do is absorb grenades. Alright, and Miao Ying makes her way into the fray as well, together with her single entities, her heroes, as the grenades explode all around them. And the Jade Warriors do back them up. As I said, I did want to get some XP for the Jade Warriors, so might as well have our heroes and the Warriors fight. Although, okay, frankly, I can't see what the heck is going on there because of the bats, which makes it not super interesting. So we'll just speed our way through this a little bit and hopefully move out of the shadows. And there we go. Bid farewell to the bats and move forward once more. All right, we got another little army of skeleton warriors here. These ones much more visible. And our Dragon-Blooded Shugengan plus our Alchemist plus Miao Ying herself will lead the way in. The enemy will get distracted and then the Jade Warriors will join the fray to get a little bit more XP. Especially since I feel bad that the Auto-Resolve has constantly been screwing these guys over since they're the only melee units. Yeah, I'm just hoping that the Auto-Resolve doesn't consider Miao Ying's War Drums thereafter as melee units, because they're such a slow unit, but sometimes the Auto-Resolve does have a bad tendency to dislike support units. I've definitely seen things like War Shrines get obliterated by virtue of supporting, and that was always weird because War Shrines are generally in Chaos armies, which are generally very, very melee heavy. But it's just sort of single entity hate from the Auto-Resolve that makes that happen. Anyway, these skeletons have been joined by zombies, and they're still very much fighting. We could drop a few spells on them to clear them up faster if we wanted to. But once again, we are allowing our units to have a little fun here. And it looks like some piles of bats have moved on in. Once again, the enemy should have really used those bats once we breached the enemy settlement. Oh, and it looks like some dire wolves moving in as well. We do have the Iron Hail Gunners behind all of this, and they could fire away should they desire to do so. And that I turned off auto fire because we have very limited numbers of Jade Warriors here, and if we fire into them a couple of times, they'll probably lose too many models, and then the unit will be destroyed. Anyway, gonna clear out a few of the enemy with a Searing Doom instead. The enemy Lord has arrived, but I imagine is not going to have a particularly good time here. We're also popping Earthblood to keep our units healed up. And well, if it isn't that Black Coach having arrived at last. Now, the Jade Warriors are not going to be able to harm that thing all that much, but the rest of the army has begun to crumble away, so it won't matter much either. And just a little bit more work in the enemy army will disappear. Bounce power's at about 90%, but I suppose the bounce power doesn't matter much when the Crane Gunner's firing at the Black Coach now, when the army is crumbling. And Iron Hail Gunners are taking positions to fire at the Black Coach. There we go. Foolishly having charged through our army only to get destroyed like that. Now just the enemy Lord remains, taking various magical attacks from Miao Ying and the Dragon-Blooded Shugengan. And I guess from the Alchemist as well. And there we go. With that, the enemy Lord falls and the battle is ours. I believe one tiny unit remains, but it's a matter of proximity, so as soon as we get close, they'll start disintegrating and will rapidly melt away. One last charge from these guys, I guess. Alright, nothing to say, just waiting until this one last unit is done for. Actually taking surprisingly long to fall with the disintegrating, but I guess the inflated HP values of SFO make it take longer for disintegrating to obliterate units, which is kind of a good thing, frankly, because undead suddenly all falling apart is also can sometimes be silly, depending on the particular situation. Anyway, fun fight. Alrighty, a pretty fun fight, at least in part by virtue of the fact that we ran out of ammunition. Of course, we could have had the Celestial Dragon crossbows fight in melee as well, but I really wanted the Jade Warriors to get a little bit of XP, and they did manage to get 8 and 10,000 damage, but sadly did not level up to rank, I believe, 8, which is what we need. Oh well. Occupy the place, obviously, which will be the tier 3, and enemy killed in battle. Righteous Lances of Wei Jin, Great Longbow Riders are available as well, which would be for one of our other lords, for Yuan Shanfu, yes? Yeah, Guardian. You're definitely going to have the Longma Heavy Army. Jiangxi Rebels destroyed, beautiful. And actually, wait, oh, you did rank up to rank 7, meaning we could now reward you by getting you by giving you a war drum, and I think we will. They've been with us for a long time, and I've gotten attached to the unit, so I do feel like at least one of the Jade Warriors needs to stick around as a part of this army. Huh. If you evolve it to a war drum, it loses all of its HP. Oh wait, no, it was already very low on HP. So not all of it. I'm actually now a little bit concerned that these guys will besiege us and then the drum will die, meaning you should actually leave the settlement, which will mean less HP recovery, but we can channel to counteract some of it. Anyway, we can make you the Tempest Tempo. There we go. As we did want 2 drums in this army anyway, because Emperor's New Groove is generally stuck on Fury of the Falling Blade. It causes fear and magical attacks for the entire army is too good to pass up. Anyway, starting to get some nice XP on everybody. Miao Ying has another level, and she has gotten recovery. We could give her... I mean, we'll give her the Talons of Night. I'm very worried about actually getting enough points to, for example, get another point in recovery to reduce its costs, but I guess we'll see. And Flesh to Stone Regrowth... Oh, I keep calling Regrowth Recovery, but yeah, we'll hopefully get 1 point in there. Maybe we can forego Earthing. I do like the miscast chance reduction, but maybe it's not super critical. Also, you've got rank 6. You have a Will of the Dragons. Maybe we'll start going through spoils. It's not a lot, it's only 5% income, but it is decent, and we should then get Retinue Valet. And oh, you have Retinue Physician, meaning we need to get a Gate Master with every army. Even 4% is better than the nothing we get with everybody else, so yeah. I'm gonna have to go with that Gate Master. Let's get another point in Plague of Rust. I do like periodically using that. Vendor contracts, hero action cost, that doesn't really matter, and I think none of this matters because it's when under siege, I wish it was when defending rather than when under siege, because it would then at least be useful, at least, 20% of the time, rather than 0.0001% of the time, especially for main stacks, but whatever. The rest of this looks good to me. Jiaming, you can level up again, and let's get you Lord of Shangyang. And we'll probably have to get the Iron Scales. And frankly, Jiaming is going to be pretty point hungry too. All of this plus Master of Alchemy. Yeah, gonna have to be careful with his points too. Also, Master of Metal reduces Final Transmutation and Plague of Rust cooldown, meaning we'll want to max out Plague of Rust and Final Transmutation at the very least. Alright, the rest of that looks good, minus building. So let's start at the top. No, let's start at Lee Temple. Finally, it's going to take 4 turns, but then +5 control faction-wide. We declared war and destroyed Nakai for you. Maybe he'll come back, I'm not entirely sure, but at least the defenders we've been able to keep around. Also, did I do diplomacy this turn? Kind of no. Nobody here we want to be friends with at this time, though. I do want more good trading partners that are essentially sort of big factions, but I don't see any available right now. Also, Ivory Road, so we get 5 and 6 turns. You guys are ready to upgrade to Jade Warriors. Alright, let's upgrade both of them. And then a couple of them will eventually upgrade to Jade Warriors with Halberd, so there's a nice mix. It's a very small caravan, so we definitely have to watch out for it dying. Also, speaking of, let's get your hidden store. No, oh, frick. You can't undo assigned skill points. Should have done the Wayfinders too, because the first point is 50% reduction. But well, what can you do? You guys will probably want to become Jade Warrior crossbows, but they're at rank 4, so you're not available to do it yet. Alright, keep going then. And just keep going. Let's get back to building now. Well, is there something else at Lee Temple's location? We do want to upgrade Li Zhu for the additional barrels of wine. They do provide us control, but it's also not super critical. Alright, let's check about main settlement capitals and all that. We'll upgrade the other stuff later. Wait, actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Meaning if we do one more here, like you, we would be able to switch you around. Okay, but after. It doesn't give us any direct economic bonuses, which is what we want right now. Every single turn that we go by... Yes, Shangyang. It's an expensive city upgrade, but it is what it is, and I fear that we won't have enough to upgrade any other cities in this turn unless there's a cheap one, like a tier 1 city. Let's do that. Village here. And then do that. And then I'm sure that we could build something else, but we can ignore it. Skip, skip, skip. Commandment available, yes. We will do the Jade Dragon's Edict here, as obviously we always do. We have the Jade Stables, but we can ignore it. And this one will have to be switched, but we can do it later. Well, let's immediately build the exotic animal market as well. I hate these own armies in province buffs. They're pretty much always useless. I'd much rather like a 1% faction-wide buff. It's not like you're going to get a lot of the exotic animal locations, Roger. You might get 5 over the course of the campaign. Whereas in province will basically do nothing. But anyway. I'll get to that Palace of Scrolls. The rest of this is fine. So skip the compass selection and then the turn. Let's see if Kugath is in fact going to hit us with another army that we can't see right now. Or from here, which is also a distinct possibility. But it's not like we've invested all that much in the Ivory Road right now, so we're okay. And he's gonna back off from Noble Gorge, which works. Knights of Calador have ended our trade agreement because of the treaties with Goldtooth. Huh, I thought they'd be okay with each other. Well, that's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. I was planning to give the entirety of the Badlands territories to Imric, but we might now have to give it to Goldtooth instead. Why, Imric? Why? It's not like we want all of the yellow territories in the Darklands, or Darklands, not Badlands. But it will. The main thing is to have Cathay proper, and then we'll figure out where we want to establish additional territories. Definitely some stuff to the south of us, and... Oh, you're gonna... they are going to declare war on us. Alright, call our allies to help. No, hopefully they're not immediately in range of this particular location, as it'll fall without the army. Confederation between Cult of Pleasure and Sword of Cain, Reichland and Marienburg, Angren and Zufbar. Kind of curious that all of these factions started to confederate in a single turn. Makes me think that the AI does that on purpose. Technology research, Lord Recruit rank, for Caravan Masters and General Lords. Razor Sack Foundry of Bones. And I guess you're going to have to suffer attrition for a turn. Oh, actually you're not. You can actually reach Doomcrag now. You couldn't before. You couldn't go from here to here. Why can you go from here to here? Interesting. Something changed, not sure what, but I'm happy about it. You're gonna go and raise this place. I wonder if the fact that you've got the Sky Lantern mount increased your likelihood of doing that. Anyway, Administrator, you now have 3 Terracotta Sentinels. Let us... I mean, we'll want one more, but for now, let's get 3 Jet Lions, and... Oh, that means as soon as we end the turn, Satang will be up and running, which is nice. 2 turns? Okay, yeah, we'll build 1 more Jet Lion out of here. Well, I guess we can start it up next turn. We'll want 4 of them in this province. If you're wondering why Jet Lines rather than Jade Lines, it's because they have the Yin Battle Harmony to combine with the Yang Battle Harmony of all of the others. Also need a couple of War Drums that we'll get from Turtle Gate. Looks like these guys didn't sally out, and I really wanted to fight them in the field because, yes. I guess we could... Guess we could leave with you. Fine. Go into... Well, stand raiding stance... Or actually... In camp. Heal a little bit. Screw the raiding. I'm gonna start moving towards Foundry of Bones. We'll hope that this guy sallies out, but we will keep... Oh, really? I wanted to keep building these. Unfortunately... well, we'll give him 1 chance to sally out, because once again, I think manually it'll be a pretty boring battle. Because mostly it'll just be our range units, our grenadiers, chucking their grenades at the enemy while we stand around, which ain't as fun as we might like. You two, go kill this. I am going to assume that the drum won't immediately die, or at least I'm going to hope that the drum won't immediately die. The Jade Warrior will die. Well, isn't that lovely? Alright, fine. Alright, just max speed manual battle. Probably won't be able to get the Jade Warriors any XP this way, but they'll be transferred to the other army shortly. Oh, you know what? We can actually take this opportunity to heal the Tempest Tempo drum because it's now a single entity and thus can actually be healed. So there's probably an advantage to doing it like this. I'll take it. Alright, start deployment and... Okay, well... I don't really care about the setup, doesn't need to be anything fancy. Get here. The heck? Oh, okay, I guess you can't be up on the hill. Whatever. Doesn't matter, let's get you guys up front, like so. Just gotta make sure that the dragon units are up front, good. Iron Hail Gunners, you... Okay, you know what? Let's do this, and this so that they can fire... Well, actually they'll need to be moved forward or else the hills will interfere with them. Fair enough. Do this with the drum, this with the other drum back here because we'll need to heal it, although I guess it doesn't really matter where it is exactly. You can be back here. You three can be back here. Did I forget anybody? Turn off skirmish. Oh, I forgot one of these guys. Wait, where's the other one? You guys go here. You guys go here. Good enough. Alright. Start battle. Speed up to max. Miao Ying, get the recovery regrowth going on the Tempest Tempo, and then wait until Earthblood is, or Life Bloom is done, and then cast another thing, like so. And cast it again as soon as it's up. I should probably pay at least some attention to the actual battle, but not enough attention to be concerned. We have some Vargeists here, nice. You guys fire at the Vargeists, in fact you fire at the Vargeists, and you fire at the Vargeists. Miao Ying, let's also do this, and this is what I get for not paying attention. And Miao Ying, we got how many more heals needed? Maybe one more and we'll be okay. The rest of this is looking okay. These Blood Knights are Black Knights, they're Black Knights, so we're fine. Let's move you in. You can interrupt the enemy Black Knights. Miao Ying, you get one more heal and then you can transform. Like so. And transform. Alright, lovely. No problem at all. Looks like the crane gunners are taking a while to destroy the other units, but that's fine. Alright, Miao Ying, go after the enemy lord. Let's get to you, if you can actually move to where you need to be. Moving like so. Maybe you guys can get at least a little bit of XP. Oh, maybe you're about to get hit by a ton of grenades. Well, actually, maybe not a ton of them. Alright, rest of this looks pretty okay. You can now move in. There we go, and pop off that Tormentor's Sword. Let's also get the Plague of Rust on the Black Knight since they have a ton of armor. These guys should be able to hold, and will reduce the armor and the capabilities of those Vargeists. Otherwise, I believe we're good. And the battle should end in a few seconds. Should we back off the Grace of Traiana? They're not going to be damaged enough for us to care. Probably could have also used the Trickster Shard to, do it now, and then like so. Miao Ying, move in. We should have one more oh, actually, I was about to say cast a Searing Doom upon them, but that's not going to work. Can you reach? No. And it's probably a bad idea to cast anything else, so you guys don't turn this way. We can turn the crossbows, though. I don't want the grenades flying. Let's get a Heaven's Flash, not that it's necessary. Turn away, you turn away as well. We definitely don't want the gunners killing off our own units. It'll be easier to do it like this. Do we need any more heals? You could use a heal on yourself. And kind of reinforcing, and the last of the enemy units will melt away. What if these guys manage to get any XP in battle? Alright, 6 losses, probably could have reduced those to 0 if we didn't play it at max speed, but whatever. That's, one of these tiny little irrelevant battles that I would normally do between the episodes, but we're not out of time yet, so we may want to keep going. And I'll probably want to transfer these Jade Warriors to Jiao Ming, as he'll want the, he'll want the Celestial Dragon Warriors as soon as possible, being our melee army. And of course the Dune Dragons, but I feel that maybe we'll want to spend our money on other things right now. Get the 2% recovery will completely recover the unit, yes. I'll take it. Dragon Mane Gem Warhorse for some guy, as in our Gate Master. Let's also move directly to Hanyu Port. I mean, with the assumption that we're moving this way, frankly, if we can get the defeat trait of the Caravan and Blue Roses on Miao Ying, I would actually like that more than anything else right now. Because it's the healing. It's just so valuable right now. You're going this way, you're going this way. Y'all need to go and steal stuff. You just can't reach Nobly Gorge, sadly. And there's Gorsty. Well, we'll reach Nobly Gorge before he does. Oh, there's these guys. Corsairs of Spite, eh? We got a little mountainous pile of trolls. Pile of ogres here. They do kind of dislike the Golden Order. I do wonder whether we might be able to ally with them, though. In case Goldtooth continues to be useless. They've been trying to get an alliance with us for a long time, and we are admittedly trading with them. Let's try it. Maybe them having more alliances with Goldtooth will make them not, like, hate each other so much. I'll see. Hopefully they don't just raid Goldtooth. That's another issue with the ogre units. Or factions. If they start raiding Goldtooth, then the AI will kind of just screw us over in terms of actually getting anything out of that. Anyway, you get to Shang-Wu. You are going to grab this mysterious island next turn, and then loop back around towards this location. It is a Norscan faction, I see. I did want to potentially ally with a Norscan faction, but I mean, I guess there isn't any units that we really want from them. They don't work nearly as well as Empire stuff. We actually need to get some frickin' defensive or military allies so that we can get some units. Anyway, Jiao Ming. Actually healing fairly nicely now. What's set Nobly Gorge in terms of defenses? Effectively nothing. We can't catch this guy, though, with either of you, I assume. Yeah. And you'll suffer attrition unless, well... Yeah, that plague's not going anywhere. It's 7 turns. It is what it is, though. I don't think we have a choice in the matter. Go. And we might save Gorst for Miao Ying. I guess we can use the other army to reinforce. I'm hoping that it can... No, actually it can't. We can march stance, but then we wouldn't be able to... Yeah, okay, fine. Go into encamp.
Allocate shifts as required.
All of the attrition here is going to be a problem for a bit. You can auto-resolve. Let's also get XP, extra XP on the Jade Warriors with lowest amount of XP. Like, so wait. Can you get the Dune Dragons now? They might help with the auto-resolve, even though they're stupidly expensive. Yeah, just do it. There we go, and at least that way he has a regiment of renown in his army. Otherwise it would have bothered me. Yeah, more damage to the lions and the drum, but it is what it is. Occupy. And we got a Crystal of Kunlun for our trouble. Free explosion effect and ward save. That's not bad. And certainly not bad. We received the plague. We can't leave the settlement, and I'm just going to hope that we don't immediately get besieged. Which is a distinct possibility, mind you. Well, if we do, we do. There's not much we can do about it at this point, because we'll suffer attrition if we leave the settlement either way. And yeah, I could have maybe manually fought that, but anyway. You guys have moved, so you're just going to wait and hope that the enemy sallies out. Still saving the points on the Lord Magistrate, but we can upgrade the Celestial Defenders. We actually need to get to rank 10 before we get to Restore. Ugh. Alright, let's get you guys up in training. I think it doesn't affect heroes and stuff, but may as well train the units up. Alright, the Summer Dealer, you're the only one that can actually still steal tech while the others are busy. And Scout, you're going to Bretonia. Alright, and frankly every turn where we don't fight is good because it's more advancement of our economy. Caravans are fine, I'm willing to bet. Let us check building. How many more turns until the Lee Temple thing is up? Oh, I've been waiting for it for so long, it feels. 3 more turns. Yeah, I'm just going to paranoidly check it every turn now, aren't I? Let's upgrade the town. Towns are more critical right now. And Jianxi, ooh, hello, we getting Vineyard, or... Can we do both? Can we do Village and Vineyard? Village and Vineyard. Lovely. And that's all we got. So let's skip. I like that we're hovering about 10,000 gold per turn because we can keep putting that all in econ. End turn. Imagine this army will come down to fight this army. I mean, they did declare war on us. They may as well do something with it. Kugath will most likely also return by the time we get down to the Dragon Isles. Helman Gorst, you're not going to declare war on us randomly, are you? No, he wants a non-aggression pact. Frankly, if he were only to hold on to this one territory, I would probably allow it, but they will sally out. Hey, Terracotta Automatons! They'll actually get to try them out. I'm so happy. I was worried that they wouldn't even try it. Now, the automatons are going to have trouble doing damage, though we can stack a lot of auras from Enshao. Frankly, if we can get glittering scales and maybe There's a sword that causes weapon strength reduction in enemies. Just a massive aura stack on this guy. That would be fantastic. But anyway, for now, we got fighting to fight. Go.
No kingdom can stand against Grand Cathay. We are the dragon's chosen people.
Alrighty, here we go. The Terracotta Automatons get to debut at last with the Celestial Defenders. As well, they don't have the ability to heal the Automatons as yet, but, well, we'll get one eventually. I'm excited to see how these guys fare. It's a pretty darn decent, nearly 2-stack of Chaos, and the armored units, the Chaos Warriors, are going to be tough for the Automatons to get through, although they do have pretty solid armor piercing. They are also anti-large, so, well, at least against the trolls and stuff, and they'll be solid. The problem is this: they have very low melee defense, or melee attack rather, and very high melee defense, so they're meant to hold the line, whereas I imagine the Terracotta Sentinels, with their extremely high melee attack, will be able to dish out damage. But anyway, they look pretty darn awesome, and I'm excited to use them not just in this army, but other armies to come in the future. Anyway, we got a pretty decent position for ourselves here, though it looks like one of the units of Terracotta Automatons will get hit hard by a combination of, I think, 2 Melkoths, mystifying miasmas now, and one penumbral pendulum, which has taken them down to about half HP, but we got 5 more where that came from. Enemy Lord will move forward, a Chaos Sorcerer, and we'll take a few hits of grenades into our own Terracotta Warriors, but they shouldn't be that badly damaged, especially considering the massive amount of missile resistance that they've got. Anyway, the badly damaged unit is going to get rotated out. It's down to about half of its HP, and we'll just send another unit in while we start grenading and iron hail gunning down the other units here. We got a nice little gap between the sort of pit here and the Terracotta Automatons, though it looks like the trolls will actually charge right through it, to my annoyance. Oh well, hopefully the damaged units of Terracotta Warriors can distract the trolls, or Terracotta Automatons can distract the trolls while we reposition and then start firing those grenades and iron hail guns right back into them. There we go. That's gonna damage those trolls and in fact pretty much obliterate them. The lines of Terracotta Automatons will continue to hold the line, and by the looks of it are doing pretty well at it. We've got, let's see, 46, 78, and they also deal with, what is that, Grave Wound? What is that? Yes, it is Grave Wound. So reduction in anti-large and anti-infantry is actually quite interesting. The anti-large will be helpful against the against enemies that try to damage our Terracotta Sentinels later on. Anyway, we do have one of our defenders with a bound wall of wind and fire, the one with the fiery trait. Would be nice to get multiple of them, but alas, I think it's more valuable to have the aura instead. Anyway, that'll burninate its way through the Marauders, heavily damaging them. Probably not doing as much to the Chaos Warriors and other heavily armored units, but at least clearing out the chaff and allowing the Terracotta Automatons to engage with the rest. Alright, the grenades keep on coming down. You gotta admit it's a pretty darn solid combination. They do work better with the automatons than they do with the Jade Warriors because they're not as threatening to the automatons in terms of friendly fire damage. That said, obviously the automatons are, what, nearly 3 times more expensive than a unit of Jade Warriors is. So there is obviously that to consider. But they're also way tankier, which does make sense. Anyway, how's that battle looking? The balance of power is at about 60-65% in our favor. We got another unit of automatons holding back some Chaos Warriors over here. And with the grenades not falling upon them, gonna get a few nice action shots of the 2 units dueling. Out of curiosity, this is halberds versus halberds, essentially. Looks like we do have better stats, the lower melee attack and armor-piercing damage, or weapon strength, rather, and armor-piercing damage than the Chaos Warriors do. Which I guess does seem fair. Enemy still has to actually get through our units and that's going to take a while. They do have a little bit of range support themselves in the same way that we do, but our Iron Hail Gunners and our Grenadiers should be able to take care of the Marauder horses without issue. Alright, we're even going to move some Iron Hail Gunners to flank this unit of Chaos Warriors and fire into their flanks and rear and hopefully thereby destroy them. There we go, gun them down. They've realized what's happening and attempted to perhaps charge the Iron Hail Gunners, but too little, too late, and they will take sufficient damage to turn and be obliterated. Ouch, those poor Chaos Warriors, Iron Hail Gunners from multiple directions, unable to breach the ordered ranks of automatons, will fall to the last. Losing your head as well. Very, very nice. And I believe with that unit, the enemy army will shatter and the battle will be ours. We have taken a lot of damage on several of the units of automatons. However, it looks like they have a lot of HP on each individual unit by the looks of it. And we can see that this unit is down to about a quarter of its HP, but has lost slightly less than half of their models, meaning they'll recover to about this much in terms of HP, which is pretty solid, damage or not. And they'll only get stronger from here. I'm also similarly excited to see what kind of stats they'll have between the aura stacking we're doing and the buffs that they will get both from our techs and from our red line, which we haven't even started to move into. Anyway, lovely debut. Alrighty, a very nice fight. Well, actually, I was about to say the TERRACOTTA Automatons probably struggled to do damage, but they actually did fairly well. 16k damage, 14k damage, very, very solid. Beating 3 out of 4 of the Iron Hail Gunners, not one of them, but... well, not doing as much damage as the Grenadiers, I admit, but the enemy did blob up around the TERRACOTTA Automatons, which allowed them to hold ground. And I do still want to use automatons in another army, a combined army, a generalist army, rather than the themed army that this army is going to be. We just need those other constructs. This is the construct army. But anyway, I'd love to get the money, but what I would also love to do is be able to auto-resolve the remnants of this. Though on the other hand, we're not that badly damaged, and I'm willing to bet... yeah, but then healing here. Well, now we can heal back at the... oh, we're gonna raise the place, meaning... oh, yeah, okay, no, we have to heal up, because we're going to raise it, which means getting the money, but it also means suffering attrition next turn.
Trusted allies.
No choice in the matter. No defensive lines for you. I don't see the need, because we'll confederate you eventually once we're ready to sacrifice public order, which not so much. We suffered way too much in the early game doing so. Hey, Dare Talk, you are ready for a non-aggression pact. I like it. I like it a lot. Hopefully we can get some malevolent tree spirits out of the spirits of Shanlan. Alrighty, and the Watcher appears. We've already given this a read, and... unlock hero, unlock hero. Okay, so Legendary Marksman give us base missile damage for bow units. It specifies specifically bow units. Are you telling me that only peasant... only peasant archers? That's it? Frankly, neither one of these is particularly useful, so it doesn't really matter. Let's just give this a read. The ground rumbles for Setang the Watcher approaches. Extending his wind bow in your direction, he takes his place by the side of your battle ranks in noble defense of Grand Cathay. Alongside you and the other sentinels under your command, the Dragon's Islands will be kept safe. Dragon's Lands, rather, will be kept safe beneath his unmoving, watchful eye. Around the lofty heights from which he casts his gaze, the winds blow strong to bring powerful blessings, yet who shall receive them is up to you. Maybe it does count crossbow units. I'm gonna try this, but I mean, he is a bowman, so I guess it makes sense, but for it to be only peasant archers kind of seems silly. But we're not using enough of these guys for this to be... I'm gonna try legendary... it says marksman, not legendary bowman, but we'll see. Enemy killed in battle, armor of silvered steel. Yeah, you can keep that for now. And magic drain. That's going to continue being annoying until we wipe these guys out. Mission aborted, Jade Court. Ooh, looks like they wiped out the and the enemy is there. Hello, free jug of dream wine. Is this from a caravan? The sword will be wounded instead of killed in battle. Unbreakable physical resistance, character XP gain. That's pretty nice. While passing through your lands, your forces are approached by a wine merchant, a middle-aged lady calling herself Marlene. Although she appears somewhat aged, it is clear that there's a youthful vigor about her, perhaps beyond what might be expected. In fact, such curiosity is confirmed as she offers to sell some of what she calls her dream wine for a very reasonable price, explaining that drinking it brings good health, long life, and a youthful appearance. A small amount of coin is exchanged for the dark, syrupy vintage, and she soon leaves, heading in the direction of the nearby vineyard. Minus 20 treasure. Is this a reference to something, or is this going to come back and bite us and super chaos corrupt everything? But anyway, jug of dream wine, sure. A legendary marksman. Yeah, I just want to double check. Oh, yeah, so it says bow units, but I guess cross bow is... Oh, I'm glad I went with this then. That worked out nicely. And, oh, you are going this way. Well, that's doubly annoying. I don't think you can take... Oh, you can very much take Chiang. You have a great unclean one. Game. Huh, maybe he's running from Gorst. Well, frankly, if Gorst moves here and allows Miao Ying to kill him, that would be fantastic. You go here. Are you guys able to stop armies? Yes, you are. Go try. Please don't die, Heaven's Interpreter. Interpret their demise. Come on, come on, come on. Success! And you can't reach the place. Fantastic. Heaven's Interpreter, you've just paid for yourself, sir. And Helman Gorst might be able to reach these guys. We do want to wipe out the Haunted Forest, but I think we move towards Scrap Towers. Kuget is the bigger threat, admittedly. No denying it, rather. Going to encamp, and then... Oh, this is still Knobbly Gorge? Okay, keep traveling through our own territory, then. Ignore Knobbly Gorge. Both of you together. I mean, it's at least racking up XP for the Jade Warrior crossbows here. Won't say no to that. You gotta train them up to transfer stuff. And hey, wait, where did Satang go? Did he appear? Oh, he appeared here. Meaning we need to move him up north. Alright, I want to see what exactly he does. So he buffs Terracotta, Sentinel, and Automatons with only 8 armor. That's a little bit surprising, but gives us missile strength, which we unfortunately won't be able to take or get too much advantage of. Base missile damage, huh? And range for Sky Lanterns and Sky Junks in Hero's Army. I mean, I suppose in theory we could apply... Missile resistance for accompanying Lord, reload time, reduction in range. Okay, this is quite interesting and quite nice. But he does have the upkeep reduction for the construct units. I was just thinking maybe we get him into a second army that combines the automatons and constructs generally together with ranged units. Just because he's got some pretty considerable buffs for them. Granted, he's got even more considerable buffs for the non-range units. I'm gonna have to think about this. Oh, he's got even more buffs. Wait. Evasion, Skyfire. Just want to see what else we have here. More ammunition. He's got plus 30% ammunition. Damn, that's real nice. Yeah, he's got several buffs for Sky Junks, Sky Lanterns, and then for the Celestial Dragon Guard. Celestial Dragon Crossbows, rather. Which makes me think we'll want to combine Celestial Dragon Crossbows and Sky Junks, Sky Lanterns, and then Terracotta Automatons and Sentinels. Probably in a second army, but he can level himself up while in the only Constructs army, and then we'll eventually replace him with a 4th Celestial Defender in this army, I guess. Probably the way to do it, at least I hope so. Anyway, Red Fortress, we can now raise it. Hopefully it doesn't destroy our units. It damage them, but not so bad. Wow, raising it is barely giving us anything. It's kind of surprising considering it's a tier 4, but whatever. At least this way Village won't come back and then teleport over here, which was annoying. And hey, this guy's coming back. And a march stance at that, meaning he's going to get killed by the lanterns again. You...
Servant of the dragons.
I guess are going to slowly start moving towards Foundry of Bones, and I do mean slowly, because then Shao will probably have to return here. Also, before I forget, well, we don't have another Terracotta Sentinel available, but we do want to build another line, our 4th line, which will max us out. We also wanted to get the... Oh, the teacher one is gone. I'm sure we'll get another one. Actually, I'm not sure we'll get another one, but I'm hopeful that we'll get another one. Metallurgist and Frenzy. You know, maybe we should get the Frenzy one to get Frenzy on all of the Celestial Defenders, make them hit a little bit harder. Might need them to help against single entities. And it's not like they're not hybrids like the other guys are. Huh. In terms of aura stacking and mass, this might also fit nicely with these guys, and I assume, actually I just want to double check, do these guys have Retinue Physician? No, they have Retinue Trainer, which is also unfortunate, but it is what it is. Alright, fine, stay there. You are, wait, you are rank 9 now. Hey, beautiful. Tactical prowess, we need the Art of War, this is why we were saving points. Get melee attack +5, -5 for heroes, upkeep reduction for army, speed for Lord's Army, sure. And then we don't really get too much use out of unless the bodyguard, so let's get Specialist Drills, Art of War, Vanguard Deployment. And might as well get the other one as well. We'll get Will of the Dragons after, like so. Alright, so we got Infiltrators stock. I assume that only this guy can use these? Ooh. Oh, it's non-character unit? I got so excited. Oh well. And then this is assigned non-character unit bonus versus large. I guess we could put it on something. I'll have to figure it out. And then duelists give us bonus versus infantry and physical resistance +20. Really too bad that it's only non-character units. And I'll have to figure out who to give the jug and who to give the star metal plate. For now, we're okay. Ivory Road, what do we got here? 3 and 4 turns. Just double checking the XP, but still nothing on you. You have a level though, so we should level you up. Okay, you have hidden stores maxed out, let's get better sales, and then we'll go through cargo capacity, and then maybe local guides, just for the extra experience per turn for all of these units. Better keep them leveling constantly, and then we'll go through the red line. We should also increase our caravan capacity fast as we can. Ooh, 2 more Astromancers coming in, and that'll be nice. Yuan Shanfu, you are going to follow Miao Ying, or continue following Miao Ying, and then the same for you. In fact, one of them will probably send to follow Jiao Ming around, but, you know, later on. And I think we're good. Mostly admin left for this particular turn, unless I'm mistaken. I mean, in theory, we got that one little battle, but I think we can save that for next episode, as this probably feels like a good point to call this particular one here. Oh, you might be able to land immediately and take this. We were going to declare war on these guys anyway. Are they at war with anybody? They're not. Declare war. Meaning they'll probably have a full stack running around somewhere, which is good. But I do want this army to be able to do something, so land. And, oh, you can land, but you can't immediately take it. That's fine. Slightly annoying, but it'll allow you to heal for a turn, and that's not too bad. Maybe we can also get enough XP to finally level you to Jade Lancers, though I believe these two can finally be Jade Lancered up. Beautiful. And do it now. Lovely, and then we'll wait for the last two for when they're both ready to go. Anyway, I'm gonna call it here next time. We will hopefully, well, we probably won't be able to wipe out Kugath in a single episode, but we'll probably deplete his strength pretty significantly. I also noticed that there's Green Territory Savannah down here, so there's a decent argument to be made for starting Miao Ying down here while Jiao Ming deals with the islands. We'll try to maybe get friendly with Imrik again, though if we can't, we can't. Nagashazar is over there as well. I do wonder whether Imrik holds any landmarks for us, but it's not the biggest of deals. I still want to take, I don't know which episode yet, but at some episode essentially take like no battle, well maybe not no battles, but only a couple battles, and then try to move like 10 turns forward so that we get a bunch of techs and a bunch of economy growth up and running for us, which will obviously enable more armies. Anyway, it was fun to see the Terracotta Automatons. I can't wait to see more as the Sentinels and the Jet Lions are nearly ready as well. Stay tuned, don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially the threshold for the longer episodes. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.